Hello, friends. I'm again talking about one of the 8 meannesses of the heart. So far, we've talked about hatred, fear, shame, condemnation, and today I'm talking about grief. Grief has always seemed an incongruous one for me in talking about the 8 meannesses of the heart because it's such a natural part of the human experience to lose people that we love, to lose many things, projects that are dear to us. So many things happen that we grieve over. But I was thinking that it actually would be better to have put anger in instead of grief. But because anger is something that the scriptures really guard against, I was reading one beautiful scripture in which Draupadi, the wife of Yudhisthira, one of the Pandavas, and it was the Pandavas and Kauravas who fought against each other in the battle of the Bhagavad Gita. Anyway, Yudhisthira's wife, Draupadi, is saying to her husband that the Kauravas were horrible to her and attempted to humiliate her. It was only because she prayed to Lord Krishna and Krishna came and saved her that she wasn't humiliated in front of these horrible people, the Kauravas. And so I love this scripture because it's husband and wife discussing, not arguing, discussing whether or not the Pandavas should go to war against the Kauravas. And Draupadi is very much in favor of going to war with against these horrible people. And Yudhisthira is saying all the reasons why they should not do this. And I love the scripture because they are very calmly, very articulately stating their points back and forth, but there's no screaming or yelling or anger or anything like that. They're just very like gods discussing this situation. It's beautiful. But one of the lines that I'll never forget from that beautiful dialogue is that one of them says, anger is like a snake in the house. Everyone wants to kill it. And I should have said an angry man is like a snake in the house. Everyone wants to get rid of it. You don't want to be around that anger. It's not something that you want around you. It's horrible. So I've wondered why it is that Sri Yukteswar didn't put anger in. Maybe it should have been the 9th meanness of the heart. But perhaps it's a little bit in hatred and it's a little bit in condemnation. But at any rate, he did put in grief. And grief is very difficult to get over. It's very difficult. There's a story about Milarepa's guru, Marpa. And Milarepa's is a wonderful story that I'll tell another time. But his guru, Marpa, was a great, great soul. And he had many disciples. And he was married and had a child or children. I don't know which. And one day he received word from someone that his child had died. And he was stricken. And his disciples were there and they said, Master, but you keep telling us that life is a delusion. Why are you so upset that your child has died if it's all delusion? And Marpa responded, it is a delusion, but losing a child is the greatest delusion. So there's so much in this world that's very, very painful. Lahiri Mahashaya lost his daughter. She was grown and married at the time. I don't know that she had children or not, but she was very sick, and Lahiri's wife came to him and said, please, we have to help our daughter. And so he said, all right, give her this oil, and she will recover if she is given this oil. And so his wife went to their daughter, and she wasn't able to give the child, her grown daughter, this oil. It wasn't possible. I don't know all that happened. Maybe the doctors refused to let her do it. Maybe she wasn't able to see her daughter because she was contagious. I have no idea. But subsequently, the daughter died. And when Lahiri Mahashaya heard this news, he went inside. He was stricken, but he went inside. And the devotees who were around him at that moment said, please, Master, let's end this satsang. It's not something that we need to continue doing because you're grieving. And he said, no, it's all right. I'm paraphrasing here, but he had made his relationship with God so strong that receiving a blow like that did not wound him as it would an ordinary person. And so that's what we need to do. We need to be so much in the consciousness of God and trusting God so much that we are not as wounded by all the circumstances of life and death as an ordinary person is. So let us keep that in our hearts and in our minds and try to get stronger in our faith, in our commitment, and in our love for God.